Here's to the next step.
To the next step.
To the next step.
To the next step.
Only E.T. reunited the cast of American Pie, and can I just say, this crew looks exactly the same, if not better.
Yes.
And boy, do they have some stories to tell. Now, the movie actually opened 20 years ago today, but to them, it still feels like yesterday. What's the reunion that's been 20 years in the making? What does it feel like to be back together again?
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Really
We
crazy.
saw everyone. It was like kind of the same thing, but like everyone's lives changed so much. A lot of kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for us.
Except for us, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, whenever I see this group, it just really just takes me back and it feels like no time has passed.
When was the last time this many of you were together in a room?
The last movie?
Yeah.
Was that the last
Yeah.
time?
It was probably like, what, 7 years?
2012?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids now are rediscovering American Pie, and they're like, oh my God, this crazy movie, we love it. What's it like, and did you have any idea that you were making this movie that would still stand up 20 years later?
Definitely wild that people that were born after we made it are now enjoying it. Yeah,
Right.
I did not think that would happen.
Yeah.
I just remember like being really excited for my friends to see it because I knew that they'd really like it. And then apparently a lot of other people felt the same way because it was huge.
It turned out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never
We had a
realized.
sense on set. I mean, personally, I felt like we were part of something special. I remember when I read the script, I thought, I think I could speak for all of us at that time. We were auditioning for all these teen movies. There was kind of a new wave of teen movies that were happening, teen comedies especially. And this definitely stood out on paper. And then when we got the whole cast together and we started filming it, and then especially in that year between filming and its release, you know, the Red Band trailer was released, and then that got all this buzz,
Yeah.
and it was really interesting because this was, you know, internet was kind of happening, but not obviously in
Not
the way it
really,
was
no.
today. The
Was
buzz
there
was like,
internet then?
Yeah, we're old.
I was at a function, like, and the moms and dads, they look at me and they're like, oh, wow, you got old. I'm like, well, yeah, 20 years ago.
Do you remember how life changed after the movie came out?
Biggs got tickets to some MTV awards ceremony, and we were so excited, and we went there, and we sat in the corner and didn't speak to anybody but each other.
and
we
barely did that.
And we saw Hannigan having
Yeah.
a great time.
Yep.
What?
You came over, you said hi to us.
Yep.
Moved on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You were already a big Buffy star.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Actually, the three ladies on the couch were already established
Yeah.
and well known.
Yeah.
And then us Schlemiels were the Schlemiels of the group. Yeah, and then we went to an MTV thing like a year later, and we actually had people to talk to.
Yep.
And now we don't even get invited anymore.
Now we don't get invited anymore. Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Such is the cycle of life.
Yeah.
When American Pie hit theaters in 1999, not only was the film an instant phenomenon, but man, did it push the envelope.
Jim?
Of course, all these years later, they still get recognized for their wildest lines. Was it, though, crazy when you're walking around and all of a sudden people start yelling out things from the movie?
I'd like to
Which
hear everybody's American Pie, what they scream.
Well, you can guess what they scream.
All right.
Oh, and this one time at band camp,
Which was fine before I had children.
Oh.
But now I'd really like them to just be like, oh, I recognize
Wait, do you get that in
wink,
front of the
wink.
kids?
I mean, yes, luckily they don't finish the sentence. But I stand there terrified that they will.
Do your kids kind of know, or do they have
No.
they have no earthly idea?
No.
Allison, I told your kids.
Okay, great. I figured.
What does everyone else get?
For years, everybody act like Stifler and yelled, "Me beautiful" to me. Like they would wait till I walked by and then give a huge "me beautiful." You know, like for years, probably a decade of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
No,
No,
can't do
not
that
polite.
Not anymore. That doesn't work.
What about Eddie?
They just call me Stifler's mom. People just see me go, Stifler's mom!
I actually call him Stifler.
Oh, come on. Come on.
He's in my phone as Stifler's mom.
They see me, they call me Stifler's mom. I'm like, I'm confused.
Tara, what do you get?
I get, I get that a lot. And then I got a lot of like, which was really bizarre. Like little girls are kind of coming up to me and asking me my advice if they should like lose their virginity. And I'm going, oh my god, like this is, I don't know, like you know, like it's like, yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, like
No one should lose it
virginity,
ever.
don't do it yet.
The Saturday after the movie came out, I was walking with my buddy to go get breakfast, and we were like going to cross the street, and a car came by, and the kids in the car shouted, "Oh my God, do the dance, do the dance!" That was like the first sort of moment that I kind of had a sense that this thing was bigger than I had ever envisioned. It was that very next day. So of course I did the dance. It was on Wilshire Boulevard, and I figured.
And you did the dance.
No, I did not. But I don't get that as much. Nowadays, I mostly just get, oh, it's Adam Sandler. Yeah, I get a lot of that, so that's fun and also my life.
What was it like on set? What was like the camaraderie
Just like this.
Was it?
It's actually
Just
true.
like this.
All the dynamics that are happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I feel like was very real. Like I remember Tara and I were just talking about it. We were all just reminiscing about her apartment, and you know, I remember us going there and we used to order a lot of pizzas. I feel like it was the only food. We were so young that we only understood that you could order pizza. Also, time was different then.
Yeah.
You didn't have cell phones. You had to call up on the
Yeah,
landline,
yeah.
and there was really only one delivery service, not like today. It was actually 1921, and and then we used to like put on, you know, hats and take Polaroids.
Yeah,
They
we
didn't
used
even
to, like,
have
dress
cameras
up
then.
and like me and her like all in crazy
outfits.
and take pictures, and we
Yeah.
always had fun together.
And
Crazy
I
stuff.
remember something I was thinking about, Sean.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you want to get into this, but I remember a zany phone call that you called me once. In
A what?
A zany phone call.
Oh God.
You called me. I'm thrilled about this because
Come on.
I kind of remember.
You kind of know where I'm going, right?
I want to know.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm still very flattered by this phone call.
Ooh.
Sean, do you remember what happened?
I mean,
Are we uncovering set secrets
like
here, huh?
exclusive.
Was there a little something going on?
I don't know that anything have happened per se,
But do tell.
But I remember that it was like we used to. I mean, we were
Blushing.
young people, and I think we were all like, you know,
Oh,
first.
he's so cute.
Oh,
Look
you
at him.
None of us knew that, Sean.
Yeah, Shawnee.
New
Can
news.
we reenact the
feel like
phone
my
call?
face
Were you
is really
flirting
red
with
right now.
Wait, let's
might
just
have.
reenact it.
Yeah, how did it go down?
Like, I mean, you had to dial. It was probably rotary. So go ahead.
You had to talk to the operator
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I tell him.
I'm gonna pass.
But
go ahead.
But I remember that.
Wait, but
I
you turned him down?
Listen, all I remember is that how sweet is it that we were young enough that we were all like really.
Why'd you turn him down?
Listen,
It was like
Allison.
sweet and innocent.
It was sweet and innocent. I know he was. Oh, he's still really cute.
Here's a question. How many of you went to high school and just did all 4 years?
High school?
Yep. Everybody.
I didn't.
Graduate.
No.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
How different was your experience in this movie from real life?
Oh, way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drastically. Yes.
Well, that was the big curiosity for me about this. In many ways, I think of this as the weirdest movie I've done because it's the one I understand the least, I would say, just speaking honestly. I was sort of somebody that had not had a traditional high school experience and that never really fit in, you know, so I think I always felt like I would say I love these guys. I mean, we're, you know, characters in the art, so I think I felt, you know, loved and accepted and seen, but I think I always felt like it was such a curiosity. I'd never really done a sort of, you know, prom or anything like that, so I didn't quite understand what it was that the story we were telling. It was very all American, very white. It was very like it was a very specific kind of story that I didn't fully identify with, and I was so surprised and delighted that it was so relatable to the world at large. Like, what a gift to be able to kind of bring joy to people. But it was a relatability that I never really identified with.
Well, I remember Chris was the first person I had ever met that said he really enjoyed high school. And I was like, it was like, what? That exists?
It's true. The counter argument to Natasha's experience is my experience, which was in Omaha, Nebraska, and very, very the middle America of it all, with the jocks and the choirs and the oddballs and the
Well, and your mom like
everybody
bakes
asking
cookies every
about
day.
sex and all that sort of thing. It was. When I read it, I got it. I thought it was like, oh yeah, this is exactly how we all grew up, and it, it was originally called East Grand Rapids, which is where Adam Hertz, the writer, is from. Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is an area a lot like where I was a kid, and you too, Minnesota.
Yeah. Very similar.
Do you remember the controversy? How people were like, oh my God, this movie is outrageous. The teen sex and the things that are happening.
And the penis in the pie.
When my agent sent me the script, they said, okay, you're either going to love it or hate it. People are very divided, and some agents think they shouldn't even send it to their clients.
Yeah, it's true.
So I loved it, obviously.
I actually don't remember much of a controversy.
Same.
And if it wasn't funny, it would have been a horrible thing to show people.
Right.
But the fact that people were laughing so much let us get away with way more than we should have gotten away with.
And all the stuff in the movie is done with such sincerity, like the performances and the way that Chris and Paul Weitz directed us. It's just so, all the performances are, even as zany as some of the lines are, it's all grounded in like this really groovy teen, who are we kind of thing. And
there's a lot of heart.
Yeah,
a lot of heart.
A lot of innocence and heart is exactly the right word.
All right, Jason, can we
Right.
talk about the pie? There's pies everywhere. That scene, I mean, that was a life-changing scene for you.
Yeah, sure was.
What does it mean to you today? What is that?
Now I gotta say,
When you screwed that pie. Everything, Jason.
let's really take a moment and talk about this. It's funny, when I read the script, I knew already that I was going to be reading for that role. And so I was reading the whole script, and then it got to that scene, and I laughed out loud. And this was before Eugene was even cast, so I didn't really even fully know the degree to which it was going to be hilarious. But I just thought, oh my God, that's amazing. I've never read anything like that, never seen anything like that. And I remember saying to myself, like, God, I really hope I get this part. I really want to do that. Like that seems like something I would love to sort of go for. And I'm like, I'm going to be a fearless comedian. And I got the part. And then the day of filming this scene, I had a complete freak out. And I called my manager in my trailer. And I was like, am I really going to do this? And he's like, you the shit out of that pie. And I was like, okay. And I did. I needed that. I had one moment of freak out, like, what if no one sees this? What if absolutely no one sees this and I just happen, and then I f a pie for no other reason than just I got paid very little money to f a pie. And I kind of freaked out, but then he gave me a vote of confidence, and then I went in there and I did it. I did it, and I did it hard, and I did it good, and I did it long.
And you did it gorgeous.
I did it gorgeous. I did it beautifully.
And now we're going to cut to the pie and see what the pie thinks.
It was awful. I've never been the same. He took my innocence.
I feel for Jason. But no, it's wonderful to be in a film that like somebody remembers 20 years after it came out. I just worry about my children. I just don't want to have to answer those questions yet.
Will they ever see the movie?
God, I hope I'm not around for that. Like, I really, of course they are, but like, just hopefully they're in college and they just don't tell me.
Funny you mentioned innocence, because I'm going to show you a clip right now. Here we go.
Tara?
Watch this.
First time was with my first serious girlfriend. Let's just say it wasn't all that I had expected. It wasn't all I was hoping for.
That's messed up.
A little bit awkward, a little bit weird, but practice makes perfect.
The trials and tribulations that they go through along the way just make it so much more unique.
Shut up! You moron! Stop talking!
So in that respect, it's nice to kind of pull back to a time.
I'm still going!
It's about
it's about sex.
And, which it predominantly revolves around sex. I mean, don't you remember high school?
Still a character.
You were just, I know for myself, I was a walking hormone during high school.
Is there anything you can tell us about your first time?
Well, I got a lot of mosquito bites.
What does that mean?
It was on the beach, and there was mosquitoes everywhere. It was awful.
What do you remember about that premiere? Because there were a lot of famous folks.
Yeah.
Look at this, so beautiful. Tara Reid, oh my God.
Ben Affleck.
How are you? Sorry. I wouldn't, you know, what are you gonna do?
Two things I love, America and pie, so I gotta be here, you know?
And when it hit me, like, wow, like this is
big.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember being at that premiere at the time I was dating Eddie Furlong.
Are you guys together now? Okay.
We're really
Very
good
together.
friends. Like extra good friends.
Us sitting there, kind of like being really tough 90s. Remember, like, Kurt Cobain was big. We're like smoking. I'm wearing a lot of black eyeliner.
Like everybody knew a Stifler in their high school.
It was at Universal City Walk, right?
Yeah.
And I'd walk past this store that I used to work at called Scientific Revolution, where I wore like a lab coat and I sold glow-in-the-dark stars and Bill Nye the Science Guy puzzles like a year before. And now I get to go to this movie premiere. It was unbelievable.
Can we talk about Stifler's Mom? And really a phrase that you basically made a phrase famous for the next generation forever.
John Cho made that phrase famous. I never said it, I just did it. I can't take credit for the phrase.
What was it like working with Jennifer?
Amazing.
Yeah. Does that buy you crazy street cred for a while?
Having sex with Jennifer Coolidge on screen? I don't know about street cred, but
What kind of women you think he's trying to pick up?
yeah.
We're gonna play a little game with you guys.
Through an interview.
This is called Spill the Pie. Was there anyone who had a moment together, had a hookup? No.
I had a crush on Chris.
I always had a bit of a crush on Eddie also.
No, I actually did. I had a crush
That
on
was
Allison.
a missed opportunity for me.
Yeah.
That was a shame.
Yeah, I had a little crush on Allison.
You did?
Yeah.
I had a little crush on you, Sean, actually.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
If I
I
could
had
go
no
back,
idea.
I would try to hook up with Eddie and Sean. And I feel like that's one of my regrets.
And I'm
now.
down. I'm ready. Still caught up that you had a crush on me. I'm not paying attention to anything you're saying. Me and Jason have always been trying to impress Chris Klein.
True story.
That's like all I think we spent the whole movie doing.
Back in the green room, that's all we did.
All,
For 20 minutes, we were just trying to impress CK.
That's their way of making fun of me right now.
Not at all.
Not even a little
Not
bit.
at all.
Not even a little bit. Is that true?
Was
I'm
there
impressed, boys.
anyone who didn't get along that eventually became friends? 20 years ago.
I don't think we had any beefs.
What I really love about this crew and like what we get to do today is we could, you asked us at the beginning of this, like, when's the last time you were all in a room together? It was a long time ago. But with this group, it doesn't matter how long it is. We walk in the door and you would have thought we would have seen each other yesterday.
If there is one thing that this movie means to you, what comes to mind?
For me, if I may, I feel like it's such a, it's me growing up. I mean, it's to have this movie and be able to have made the sequels and to continue to have these relationships 20 years later. This for me, I'm sitting here now, 41, 2 kids, and I'm like looking back and I'm just saying to myself, wow, I have literally grown up from the time this first movie happened, and what a wonderful group of people to grow up with, and what a wonderful movie to be a part of and have it, sort of represent my life.
Sean?
I think it's just a dream come true. I think just to get an opportunity to be in a movie and then have this amazing experience, it just changed my life.
It's such a massive thing to be grateful for, to have, any movie at all, and then to have it be something that connects so deeply with people, where they feel like their experience is seen, or still feel like loved and supported by this crew it's deep stuff. It's the stuff of like real life.
It is something you couldn't ask for more than this. I love the script. You never know what's going to happen. Like, is it going to turn out the way you hoped?
Yeah.
Every step of the way, it just got better. I mean, that doesn't happen that often, and so to be a part of that, I will forever be grateful.
Just real quick, who do you like better, us or your How I Met Your Mother?
Be honest, though.
Be honest.
I love you both. And this is brought to you by Pie.
When I see something with American Pie, it puts a smile on my face. Like there's a real loyalty and a real, and it was a life-changing experience. Another thing that was so interesting is like everyone's career really went on. There's very few movies that when you do, the whole ensemble cast is still working, you know, and it's 20 years later.
To the next step.
We are all insanely blessed and lucky that we just happen to be the right age at the right time and go to the audition and get the offers.
That's it. That is absolute gratitude. I mean, you think about a movie that was that came out 20 years ago that we now get to sit and talk to you on a Entertainment Tonight special 20 years later. That says it all right there. It's a pretty great thing, and all of us sitting here are real grateful to Eddie's point. Right place, right time, right age, right personalities.
Got to tell you guys, thank you so much for being here today because it means a lot to us. So thank you guys.
That's awesome.
Thanks for having us.
It's awesome. Thank you.
We're clapping ourselves.